Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 13. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news studio. There has plenty of news, plenty of updates, both on yield notes. Obviously, there's a few things coming out here soon. NFTs is coming. We're going to get our 5% also just by next week, we hope, fingers crossed. And then on top of that, we have a bit of news also from Elevate Pass. There's also something coming out of there. Trillant has a new news post that has come out that has disappointed us a bit, but we're going to have a closer look at it, exactly what that is. New updated trading, that means more copy links to come in the future. Our portfolio here has been updated also, so plenty of news, plenty of updates. And Alex from Expert Forex also have a few videos out this week. We have news on the spaghetti trader. So all of this in the next 20-25 minutes. So get yourself a cup of coffee and let's get into it. And the best place to start, as always, is that we want to start with the quarterly profit from yield notes, because yes, we are very close to getting them now again. You're not getting them paid out, unfortunately. That's still not going to happen. We most probably have to wait still until the end of 2023, but it's still early days. So at least we will have it in the account, and you can obviously look at it and see how much money you made over the last 3 months. But obviously we want to get it paid out at some point in time. It will be there, so keep an eye on it, either over the weekend or it will come in shortly after that. Obviously, when we talk about the NFTs, this is also the replacement for the marketplace that we have been talking about for the last many months, that actually started back in 2022. And the video here explains a bit about when it's coming and some of the timelines here. So if you haven't caught up fully on yield notes and what the CEO, Steve, has mentioned here a bit, that is the video to go and have a look at. We do expect something to come out in the next week or two. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to reach Urs this particular week, so we did call in with John, his secretary, and obviously he's out traveling at the moment, so we'll have to wait with an update from him, most probably by the next week or two. Now, if we have a look at the Decenomy coins here, we have one that is in good improvement. Unfortunately, is not the Sapphire coin at the moment. You will see on the iHost website here, which is always what you see in the top corner. You can see that the last week's results was 53% return on the investment per year for this particular Sapphire coin for the shared master noding. Now it's up by 2% to 55, which is obviously always good. Shared master noding, we also look like we have about 2.5%. So for this particular week, which is obviously good, but it's also quite normal. It normally lies in the area of 2-2.5% every single week. Overall coin development, yes, there's about a 3% increase here, but we take that just as the normal market fluctuations. And if you also have a look at the Bitcoin value, where it is at the moment or where it just has been, so it is definitely on a high. And it actually reached a new all-time high this week also, which I'm sure benefits a bit here with all the Decenomy coins too. The graph itself looks pretty much flat. You can see there might be a small upwards curve, but it is only minimal, so there's no need to celebrate anything quite yet. PNY is pretty much dead as a doornail at the moment, apart from the shared masternoding that we are still getting some good percentage on. You can see that last week we were at 67%. It has now dropped down to 55%, but we have seen that move in that direction, both up and down in previous past. But overall, it means that the shared masternode value for the week is about 6%. When it has been best, it has been around a 10. So obviously a bit disappointing. Overall coin development is pretty much status quo. Nothing has really changed, and we don't believe we're going to see much happening. This is one of the coins that could really go rocketing up, but we have to wait until yield notes and the Decenomy system is up and running. As we said, the graph pretty much flat as a pancake. Nothing has really moved since last week or the weeks before. So don't get your hopes too much up on this particular coin at the moment. The one that is moving is Birake, which is also linked together with the crypto exchange itself. And we can see the return on the investment per year is still good. We had 155% last week. It is down 3% to 152, but we'll still take that for sure. You can see there's 8-9% also in it from last week, which is obviously great. And overall coin development continues to basically go up and up this time around. The day before we were shooting this video, we looked like we were up by 40%. Now it's 29. Most probably tomorrow will be 26 or it will be 50. Who knows? The idea here is that overall it is moving forward in the right direction. And we have now seen this coin development being in the positive for the last 4 weeks, which is great news. The lowest we ever saw Birake in was around minus 46% on the coin development. So we're quite happy with what we see right now. And that also means there's a bit more movement. You can also see it on the graph here. So the graph has broken from the bottom and it looks like it's slowly but surely crawling up. Let's hope the tendencies that we see here will continue in the weeks to come. BTC versus USDT, Bitcoin has broken into the 29,000 mark, and it did that here not too long ago. So on Wednesday, basically, Thursday. And you can see that it's just hit about 29,200, but only for a short period of time. And then it dropped back down to the 28,000 mark. Last week, we left it around 26,600. So it has been a positive development, but as you can see on the graph, it has both gone up and down. So basically the level we left it at last week is most probably still where we're going to find it in the next couple of weeks, somewhere between the 27 to 29,000. Elevate Pass, well, nothing new here. Elevate Pass, it is 0%. It will continue to be that. The good news is now that we have managed to get a one-on-one here also with Raphael, the CEO. And we asked him again, we had our news report coming out. We were waiting for him to come back to us. Unfortunately, he has been a bit ill, and that's the reason why he hasn't really replied before here. And he says he needs a few things approved to make sure that everything can go public. And I asked him basically, are you still expecting to release something next week? And as you can see here, the reply is yes, so we're looking forward to it. We also asked if we can get a bit of a heads up on exactly what it is, or if we can have an interview where you can clarify some of the things that are coming out. We're not exactly sure how this is going to turn out yet, if he wants to do his own introduction or presentation of it, but we'll definitely keep you informed and either on a new video or again in next week's news report. Now, everything that he wants to talk about that we believe he's going to talk about here is the CoinFriend portal and the expansion on this, where you can use some of the money you have in with Elevate Pass. Hopefully, there will also be a bit of news on what is to come for the rest of 2023, especially around the trading that had to stop after the CFO lost a lot of the money within the platform itself. So we are obviously also eager to hear what kind of recovery has been done in the meantime. Now we also have a newsletter coming out of the Trillant platform here itself, and it says here, dear community, we are still at the beginning of our implementation of the GTT concept. So basically the Trillant concept itself and the Trillando and the TRIL. We add new store partners daily and weekly, some of whom have also made advance payments, but have to wait for their turn to activate the KYB verification. KYB verification currently takes between 10 days and 5 weeks. And this is the Know Your Business. So basically the Trillando businesses within here has to verify themselves in order to avoid any kind of scam. So for the rest of the members, and that's also in here where you can buy goods, and that's everything from massages to electronic components. Even cars will be available in there also from various countries. And in Malta, unfortunately, we only have one place at the moment, and that is a cafe, so we can get a sandwich or a coffee. That's pretty much it. So we have to wait until a few more of them come a bit closer to where we are also, so we can test all this out. So it looks like it's going to take a bit of time for them to get the whole Trillando and business up and running. Now, on top of that, also, we have a bit of a statement, which we find funny here, or sad, whatever you want to take it. We understand the community would like to, like their earnings paid out, even without store purchases. This will be possible with the listing of the Trillant on the exchange. According to the current status, the listing will probably be done by the end of the second quarter. We ask for your understanding and thank you for walking this path with us. Now, obviously, there's a few things in there. Yes, definitely the whole idea here is when we stake our coins, we actually also want to take our profit out. So that is not really in question. So I'm not exactly sure why the wording is like this. We definitely are not expecting to enjoy a $12,000 or $13,000 massage, as we have that amount in there. We're not going to spend all that on hair products or coffee and sandwiches, that is for sure. So we want to see some of the money coming out. And the most disappointing part is the wording is now saying probably, because in the last video that I made on the Trillant and also some of the videos that Eric, the CEO, has been in on here, mentioned that it might not happen in Q1, and definitely it's not going to happen, because then everything would have been set up basically by the time this news report comes out. I did mention that don't believe that anything's going to happen until end of quarter 2. And now this is basically saying probably, which is, I guess, a word that they have chosen here, so they can extend it even further, which is quite disappointing for all the members in here. The last part is the store partners itself here. There is also some limitations now put on them. And it says independently of these payouts to the company itself, that they will only pay once a week. We will temporarily limit the payouts of the stores to 25,000 trillion per month. And obviously, these payout limits will be in place until all stores have been approved for KYB, and those have had the opportunity to verify themselves. Now, again, if I was a store owner and I could only sell for about 25,000 trillion, that's going to go quite fast. Maybe not if you sell sandwiches and coffee, but definitely if you are into electronic components. And that might mean again here that some of the stores owners, Trillant store owners, is going to tell you they don't want to get you to buy this. I don't know exactly how it works. That is certainly one way I would react if I had to buy in all these components and then figure out that I can only get paid up to 25,000 in 1 month. So a very disappointing development from the Trillant side, and I don't think too many members is very happy with this from what I see in all the forums that I'm connected to at the moment. We will have to wait and see for further developments in here. And let's just forget for a second, with all the payouts and all the issues here, the main part is still the staking process within the 3 packs that you can buy. And you will get your money back out in TRIL, basically what you can go in and buy through the Toronto website here with more than 1,000 shops now. And this is the yield that you will get over that period of time. So 4 weeks, you will get 1.5% over those 4 weeks. 52 weeks is the ones that we are in, and that will create a yield of 50%. And obviously this is only interesting if you can actually get your money out and if you can actually buy something in the shops of real value. And the CEOs and the rest of the top team definitely have to wake up and smell the coffee here. So because that's what the members are interested in, and no community is going to grow without seeing that this is actually happening. Now, if we have a look at the coin development, because there's another way you can take money out of the platform here too. There is the tree, and that particular one hasn't done very well. Only in the first day or two when it was released, it actually went up to almost $1. Since then, it has definitely gone down, and it continues to go down. Maybe not as much as what we've seen in the past, but we are now down to 7 digits here on it. On the one side, you can see here the 3 zeros, and then 3510 is from last week, and this week we are a bit lower. So again, 000 3371. It has flattened out a bit, the graph itself, and we can also see that the maximum selling power we have here, which is the red one, is at 465 million, quite high. But it looks like at the moment the price is pretty much holding, and hopefully this will turn around. But as I mentioned, it would certainly turn around if we start to get the coins out, the stable coin here, because then people will no longer use the tree as often as you see here, where they still try to sell some of them off. And if we go to CoinStore, you will see the same development also here. Where we left it last time is at 0.0003480, and since then it has dropped further also down at 0.0003191. And again, if we have a look at the sales values, which is still the highest ones, it's about 413 million. So not a very good development overall for it. And what we have just seen on the news is definitely not good news for most of the users either. A quick look at Solar Kingdom. It's actually gone the wrong way this particular week. We have reached out to the developers itself. They haven't replied. We think that they are going on the last leg of trying to get this platform here back into shape with the community. And that is a real shame. We actually put a bit of extra fresh value in here, but our issue at the moment is that we cannot fuse, we cannot rebuy, whatever you want to call it in here. And that basically takes the reactor value down from last week, almost with 1 BNB, which is obviously not a very good development at all. And we want to have a comment from the developers, what exactly is happening in here. We know that they added soft tax on these particular things, but this is now done, that you will not get over the minimum rebuy value that you have in here, or fuse value, and that is a bit of an issue. If we have a look at BNB versus USDT, then it hasn't really gone the same way as Bitcoin. Now we left it so past the 300 mark last week, so up around 325, 326. And that was going a bit higher, so about 330. Since then, it has dropped again, and currently trading around 313 mark. So, but it's still good. Anything over 300 for the BNB has been quite a good value in the last 2 or 3 months. Value of the money tree, I'm not so sure, because obviously it's an expensive robot. And what we have seen here is that the Blaze Broker, we did $21.63 or 0.22%. And that is definitely not something to brag about at all. As you know, we had a big crash and lost more than $3,000 on both broker platforms last week. So we reported on that. We can see that IG Broker is actually in minus, and that has something to do again with one of the Swiss franc currencies in here. It actually did another 4 trades of only 2 or 3 seconds again, and they all went against us, and that's why we're down actually minus $39 here, or minus 0.4%. So very disappointing development. So overall for this money tree that we had very high expectations on. You can obviously find more information on it, so through our website here, and we have 2 different links, so you can go on the Blaze Broker and have a look at the development there, and you can use the other link to go on the IG Broker, and you can double check our trading up against yours. Now also about a week or 10 days ago here, we made a video on the loss that we took on the money tree. But as we also developed the video itself, we saw there were some discrepancies in the video, and we reported on this. We also reached out to the developers to figure out exactly why the developers had different trading than what we had on our particular accounts, and we managed to figure that particular out. And that's why this video has been made this week, where we are going through the ups and downs of the money tree, why it is that the developers has one set of trades where we have another one, and we try to dissect it and explain exactly how these EAs can end up with completely different results. And obviously there is a couple of assumptions also that we took, and I think also there's a couple of things that the developers played around with that definitely confused a lot of users, and we know it confused us because we couldn't find any information on it at the time. So if you want to know more about it, that is definitely the video to watch in here. Now also last week we made a video, and this video was basically the profit retriever has turned 1 year old, And at that particular time, we mentioned here that in the year, our portfolio, the one we put together to show you exactly how well the profit retriever is working, made $192,000 here in 1 year. And we also provided some details in it. Just before we made the video, we actually had a crash on the Aussie 200 index, and this was all based to the different type of banking issues that was in the US and in Switzerland. But we could also show that already the minus 14,000 that we actually took a hit on overall in the portfolio here, we turned it around. And by the time we did last week's news report here also, we actually had a nice profit of $2,675. And that has obviously grown since then. You can see the graph in here where we took a big hit. There's a little notch further down on the graph, and that was for a previous video where we also saw some losses which had nothing to do with the robot itself. It had something to do with broker basically trading. Now, since then, we obviously continue to develop new signals for the copy link service in here and for ourselves also. And we have found new and updated signals. You can see the Aussie 200 that actually crashed. We have made quite a lot of changes to this particular signal, and we are currently testing it. We are about 10 days in on that particular history now. Monthly returns on the FX Blue looks to be around 18% as it is right now. Euro USD, we had it in our portfolio before, but we didn't really like it because obviously it is a very volatile currency, but it's also a very trending currency from time to time. And that is something that the profit retriever doesn't really like. But we have found a couple of good settings. We are testing them at the moment. And even though it says 47 days here, part of that was not really trading itself. That was part of the testing on the platform, but that's what FX Blue picks up in here. So monthly returns still looks good, 16%. We will have to wait and see when we release these particular numbers. We have also made some changes to the Aussie Japanese, so we now have a second one in there. That also looks good. We have actually taken away the high lot size because, again, it's too high of a risk, even though people should understand exactly the risks that are involved when we use higher lot sizes than normal. But we want to give people an opportunity to have high risk, medium risk, and low risk. This particular one here, we have managed to decrease the lot size quite a bit and at the same time still have an incredible good results. At the moment, you can see it is calculating in here. It might not be true, but it is calculating about 50% monthly return, which is still a bit high. So we might have to adjust it a bit further down later on before we actually put it on the copy link service. Now, on the weekend here, we have added those signals here and we moved the Aussie 200 index off that crashed because we couldn't see the equity, we couldn't see floating profits and other things on the portfolio itself. And that is also why you now see the monthly return is up to 22,000. So if you want to try and compare apples with apples, then you have to remove about 14,000 overall from this. And that means that it's in plus about 8,500, which is actually better than we expected. When we did the last videos, we said, okay, even though we had the crash of 14,000, we still expected to come in at around 5,000 to 8,000. And we have now already seen that that has passed that. So the goal might be around $10,000, which is not bad. It's a whole new account in a month where we took a serious hit. And that's exactly why you should trade everything in a portfolio. So good development overall. And it also explains now why you see some different numbers when you go to our portfolio. As we mentioned, this one started with only 3 or 4, and then it simply has been developing over time. So you can go in and see which ones you would like to trade on, or you would like to test yourself if you have your own robot and you want to trade it. So the graph now looks like this instead. Obviously, it looks a lot nicer than the other one we had here before. But again, it just simply shows that there's a good progression no matter how many you are trading. It's getting more and more safe. So within the portfolio, the more accounts you have, so that one account like we had here crashes, doesn't take out your entire investment. Now, if we have a look at week 12 and the top 5 EAs, you can see the US 30, it continues to be up there where it's really fun. So on the top of the top 5, 11.1%. You have the British pounds, Japanese at 7.2%. US Swiss francs has done extremely well also, even though that is normally not coming in so high, but 6.9%. US CAD is also good, 6.8%. And then we have the Euro New Zealand coming in at 5.3%. So overall, it was quite a good week. So $3,732 or 7.5% for the week, which is definitely approved. Now, if you are interested, and we know there is a lot of people interested in the Profit Retriever, we get quite a few emails every single week. We get comments on our videos from our YouTube channel, of course, also. You have an opportunity to go in and trade this Profit Retriever EA yourself. It takes a bit of time to set it up, and you obviously have to master this, which is going to take most probably a couple of months. And then you have the other option where you can go in if you don't have time and you don't want to put the effort in to try and learn this Profit Retriever. You can go to the copy link trading, and then you can basically link up with some of all the traders that are providing signals in here. There's more than 80 signals now. And the good part here is also that you don't have to buy the robot. You can simply link up, but obviously there is a cost involved. But again, there's also an option here that there's a free trial at the moment that Expert Forex is offering you. Again, when you look at the links in here, there's now a new starting link, and they have these 6 indications that we also showed you last week. It means that the floating profit and loss has to be below 10%. The account age has to be bigger than 90 days, and so on and so on. So these are the ones that are on the main page itself. And the main page looks something like this, and you can go in and have a closer look at them. Again, just for visual context, we have, I believe it's 9 out of the top 20 of these accounts in here. And that again means that I think that the way we set them up looks like it's pretty solid overall. Yes, of course, we still have drawdowns like anybody else has on this particular EA, but it looks to be consistently up there. Now, Alex has also made a couple of videos, and again, he talks about the portfolio trading and how this is done in order to create Forex millionaires. And this is not really any news because we've been beating that drum also for a long, long time. This is the way to go by it, not just set everything up on a single account or 2 accounts. You have to spread the joy over multiple accounts, similar to what we do in our portfolio. Maybe not have 25 now signals as we do, but maybe somewhere between 5, 8, or 10. And then you can always also go for cent accounts if you feel that that's the way you want to go. Alex made a second video also this week, and he's basically just emphasizing again that the Make Money robot works quite well. He has made some previous videos on this in the past years, and just emphasizing how well this can actually work. But most of the time what we find here is that the EA is not that good on itself. You have to be a good, decent trader. And then when you link it up together with the Make Money robot, definitely there's a lot of money to be had. And the last part here is, again, the trial for the link service is also here. There's a few people in there that are using the Make Money robot, and you can go and find the results there too. Now, we get questions all the time about the Spaghetti Trader. We did the beta testing, which is now more than a month ago. And obviously, we also asked Alex exactly when we're going to see this EA coming out. And it has been delayed a bit because Alex has had some health issues. And obviously, he needs to take care of those first. We've now seen in the forum, it looks like it could come out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And definitely we keep our fingers crossed, because that means that we have more information for you in the future. We can do more tests. We can see if we can also add this one to our portfolio, and obviously also see if we can add it to the copy link service itself. So you can spread the joy even more with not just one robot with different currencies, but you have multiple different robots trading up to 28 currencies, as with this particular Spaghetti Trader. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As always, we would like to hear your comments on all the news that we present to you. If you want to hear something more or something different, then please send us an email or a comment in the video below. Otherwise, I hope to see you on next week's news report. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.